Hi, this is Sharon. I wanted to give you a little bit of instructions about how to find the Temporary Distance Education Addendum on the Curriculum and Instruction Resources course. So once you log into the course and you're on the course homepage, you will want to select the tab for Distance Education Resources. And once you are there, this top link is for the other DE resources that are on this Canvas course, but you'll want to continue for the Temporary DE Addendum section. And if you are the person that is going to be filling out the addendum, then you will read the section and then you will select the hyperlink here. And it'll take you to the Canvas assignment. And there's some instructions here on the screen that just tells you just to make sure that you are the person that is filling in this form, and if you are, then you'll select this hyperlink for the temporary DE addendum. After you submit the addendum, you're going to receive an email confirmation with a PDF summary of your responses. It's that PDF that we need submitted into this Canvas assignment. So step 4 says to upload a copy of your PDF document into this assignment. And once it's submitted, then your addendum proposal will be forwarded to the C&I committee for review. So this is the repository of where we will collect all of the addendums so that we'll send them into the committee for tech review. And then you'll hear back from us if there's any revisions that need to be made, and then we will list the proposals on the agenda for vote. If you have been requested by your dean or by your faculty coordinator to forward a copy of the temporary DE addendum, then our last point is for you to go ahead and do that. So if you're going to fill in an addendum, you'll click the hyperlink, and this will take you to the Google document that you will fill in. It's really important on this very first step that you use your pasadena.edu email, so I'll just demonstrate how we will do that. The course title, I'm going to enter in Honors Elementary Statistics. The course prefix and number, so this one is Stat 50H. Under the department, right now you're just going to select which of your divisions. We have Math and Computer Science. And the division, these two labels are switched, but right now you'll just enter in your particular department. So mine is Math. Your faculty author, type in your last name, first name. And this class will be if it's in the summer 2020 schedule of classes, you'll click that link. If it's in the fall 2020 schedule of classes, at that time, you will select this one. If you know it's in both, you can go ahead and select both. This temporary addendum expires December 31st, and then there's some information here to read. So I recommend that you read this, and then we can go on to the next page. This next page is the section related to your department review. This one says that your department is to review how this particular course can be taught effectively online, and then by checking all of the points that are listed here on the checklist, that you understand what is required to take your course from a face-to-face format to an online format. So hopefully your faculty in your division have already talked about this before you're ready to enter in the information into this document. In order for you to proceed in the document, you need to select all of these. So my class for Stat 50 Honors, I'm doing this as a demonstration. We have already talked about the objectives being able to be accomplished online. And if this class was taught face-to-face, we want to make sure that we can achieve those same outcomes in an online delivery. We make sure that the regular effective contact can be made instructor to student, student to student, and student to content on a regular basis. We make sure that assessments are carefully and thought about for online mode of delivery, and that data from a variety of formative and summative assessments can be used to report student learning outcomes. Once you check all of these, you can go on to the next page. This section talks about online limitations. So if there's some aspect of your course when it's taught online that has online limitations, then you would select 2.2 that there are limitations, and then you would note what those limitations are in the text boxes here. If there are not any online limitations, you would select 2.1. There are no limitations. So let's say there are limitations and that I would like to have proctored exams. And how am I going to address this particular situation? I'm going to create effective online assessments using Canvas quizzes, random question banks, and timed assessment. So you write down how you believe you can address those limitations that you have, and then you proceed to the next page. This section is related to the instructional methods. So for your particular class, you can read the directions up here. We talk about synchronous, asynchronous, and then you can select which of these methods of instruction would be used in the online sections of your course. So if you're going to use course modules, and if your content's going to be listed in Canvas pages, you read through all of these and you select the ones that you would use. If you're going to use some publisher platform, you would select that one, and then you would identify that platform here. So if I was going to use my StatLab, and then maybe StatDisk for software, I'm going to use a TI graphic calculator, maybe a TI-84 plus graphic calculator. Any other instructional methods or tools that I might use, I could include those here. Next page is a section on regular effective communication, contact between faculty and student. The section on Title V law is listed here for you, and then you would then select here this one says check all of the following to indicate understanding. So again, you want to read all of these and make sure that you understand them, and then you would select each of these. So I've already read this document, so right now I'm just going to demonstrate that we have to enter all of these to indicate understanding. This next section, regular contact strategies checklist. These are ways that you can communicate with the student on a regular basis. And it says regular contact is at least once a week. Check all that apply. I'm going to use announcements. I'm going to have office hours using Zoom. I'll communicate with my students through the Canvas inbox. I'm going to post regular announcements by the instructor, regular emails and responses to students, submission comments on assignments, timely feedback on graded assignments. So you go through each of those that you would select, annotated comments on assignments, and anything else, and then go to the next page. Methods of evaluation. This one here gives us some examples of frequency of evaluations that you might have. It says online homework might be once a week. Reports or essays submitted online, however many that you would have per term. End of week online quizzes, whatever you would use. It's important that the feedback is timely. It elicits analytical and critical skills for the student, and it's individualized, not just auto-generated. So you'd pick those that apply. We have exams, questions inside videos, and let's see what else might I have, discussion posts. On 5.2, this says frequency of each of these evaluations. So each of the ones that I selected above, I should list here. So 5.1a, how many exams am I going to have? So I'm going to have 4 exams per term. 5.1c, discussion posts and responses, I will have 1 discussion per week. And then questions inside videos, I generally will have 2 videos per week, so I would have 2 per week. And this section here, 5.3, students receive feedback from the instructor using the following methods. So feedback on discussion posts, Let's see, peer review feedback, auto-graded assignments, quizzes, annotated feedback, and I might say some individualized feedback with a rubric. So anything that you might use. And then we finally get to the last page that has to deal with the ADA 508 section compliance. So it's really important that you understand what needs to happen in this section. So there's a list here of some great ideas for you to be able to use. Videos are closed captioned, and this is different than subtitling. So closed captioning assumes an audience cannot hear the audio. It provides other relevant parts of the soundtrack. So if there's music, there'll be symbols related to music, but anything that is in the audio soundtrack is caught in the closed captioning. Subtitling is only the text of the spoken word. It doesn't include the other aspects. Lecture screencasts are closed captioned. Transcripts are provided for multimedia. Alt text tags are used. So these are some great ideas for you. And then also in Canvas we have Ally. It's an accessibility checker tool. So it'll show you in Canvas if your documents or other parts of your course are ADA compliant. Once you read these and you understand these, then you're going to select ADA regulations are understood and will be applied. And then we hit submit. And this addendum says at the very end that your response has been recorded and a copy will be emailed to you to your PCC email address. So I'm just going to pause the recording for a moment as I go and get my check my email to see if I have the copy. So I went to my email, and here is the PDF copy of my addendum with all of my responses. And the responses that are listed here give you a listing of all of those items that you did check off on the addendum so that you can have this for yourself as a copy and as a reference to help you in the design of your online course. And then we want to take this document and go to the Canvas course, and we want to upload a copy of this PDF. So I want to submit the assignment. And down here, file upload, I'll choose a file. I submit the document, choose the file, say submit, and it's complete. And the very last part it says here, lastly, if requested, be sure to forward a copy of the submitted temporary DE addendum to your dean and or your faculty coordinator. Thanks for watching.